Hello there and welcome to another Partners in Crime tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to learn how to make a nice multicolored text effect in Blender. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is delete the default cube by typing X on your keyboard and clicking delete. Next, type numpad 1 on your keyboard to go into front view, and then press Ctrl and then Alt and then numpad 0 on your keyboard to bring the camera into front view. Now we're going to add some text. So type Shift and then A on your keyboard, and when the add dialog pops up, select text. So now you want to rotate the text so that it's facing you by typing R and then X and then 90, and type enter to confirm the rotation. And now you want to type your own custom text by going into text edit mode by pressing tab on your keyboard. And then you want to erase the text and type your own custom text. And then you press tab to exit text edit mode. So now let's center the text on the screen by going into the right of the screen here and selecting the text object data tab. And in the paragraph and align, click center. And now that we have our text centered on the screen, let's lower it a bit on the screen by left clicking on this blue arrow and dragging our cursor down. And now let's open a custom font that we have stored on our computer, and we'll include a download link for the font in the description. We're going to use Varela Round for this tutorial, so just click this folder and direct Blender to wherever your font is. Let's see, and select Open Font. So now you can see we've got our rounded font loaded in here. So one thing we want to do is we're going to change the render engine to Blender Cycles, because we'll be using Cycles materials. And then in the right of the screen here, we're using our scroll wheel to scroll through this menu. Select the Materials tab and click New to add a new material, and change the material to an emission material. We're going to put the strength to 3. Now if you go into Render View, you can see we've got a white text with a gray background. So let's go into the world settings in the right of the screen here and make the background nice and black. So now what we're going to do is, with the text selected, we're going to go back into solid mode, and we're going to split the screen here. So left click when the cross selector comes up and just pull that out. And then we're going to go into the node editor. And now we're going to scroll up to zoom in, and let's change the emission color to blue and set it to rendered view. And you can see we've got a bluish text, and if we drag it to yellow, we've got a yellowish text. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the array modifier with a special adjustment on this material section here to make a whole bunch of arrayed colored text beyond this text. So let's go into the right of the screen here and go into the object modifiers section, click add modifier and click array, and check relative and check constant, and let's adjust the Z on the array here. You can see it erases it back a little bit. And if you adjust the Y, you should adjust it downwards. So let's put the count to 3 so that we get 3 texts back there. And what we'll do now is we're going to add in a hue saturation value node. So add color hue saturation value and hook it up to the emission. And let's change the color to yellow. And click add input, the texture coordinate, and let's hook the output of the object output of the texture coordinate node to the hue input of the hue saturation value node. And you can see we've got a lot of multicolored text here, but we want each arrayed text to have a different color. So what we're going to do is going to click add converter and click separate XYZ, and just hook that up there. And we're going to use either Y or Z to control the hue, and we'll use Z because it's controlling the hue from the location on the object's Y-axis here. But since our object is rotated, it's counted as the Z-axis here. And if we adjust this, you can see we have the color changing as it moves backwards and forwards there. So if we type numpad 0 to go back into front view, you can see we now have a multicolor text object, and you can animate its value on the array modifier. You can get a whole bunch of cool different text effects. So now that we're pretty much finished with this tutorial, thanks for watching, and subscribe for more tutorials from partners in coordinated rendering of ideas, motion, and effects.